money grab. That's it. It's a money grab. This is a money grab. Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am back with another makeup I want but probably won't buy and why video. If you are new here, hi, my name is Maria. I like glitter and I talk a lot. But if you're new here, you are new to this series, and this series is actually a kind of mix of Samantha March's Will I Buy It videos and anti-haul videos. I wanted to do a video where I can talk about new makeup that I wanted, and I had considered doing a Will I Buy It video, but I knew in my heart of hearts that most of these products, whether I wanted them or not, would probably end up in the I won't buy it category, but not because I don't like them. And so that's why I also couldn't do anti-hauls, because it's not that I'm anti-hauling it, like I'm not buying stuff, it's like no good, whatever. It's more just like I like these products. I would want to have them. I would probably want to buy them, but there's just reasons why I'm not going to, and I want to talk about it. Also, there are times where I talk about products in these videos that I want to buy, and that's why the probably comes in, because there could be a chance where I maybe do buy these products. I'm not quite sure. Nothing's official, so I don't want to sit here and be like, yes, for sure I'm buying this. These are products that I really am interested in, that I want. I probably won't buy. We're going to talk about it, but maybe I will buy. So it's all up in the air. Just products I want to talk about. I feel like it kind of helps us beat the FOMO, so we can talk about new stuff. We don't always have to buy all the new stuff. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. The first one I talk about is a brand. I actually wasn't even following this brand, but I had an ad pop up for me on Instagram, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And if you guys watched my last makeup I want but probably won't buy video, I talked about how there were a couple strawberry themed palettes and things like that that came out that I was like at first interested in, and then once I actually saw the palettes I was like, nah, because it just wasn't what I wanted for a strawberry palette. And at the time I was thinking like, I don't really know what it is exactly I want for a strawberry palette, but it's not that, I know that. Well, this popped up in an ad and I was like,
now this is a strawberry palette.
Okay, so the brand is called Beauty Crop. They have several of these palettes, and it's their new cocktail palette. The first one that caught my eye, it's called Strawberry Daiquiri. And it's got, from what I can just see here, some beautiful reds, some orange. It's got this like shimmery green red shade. It's got a pink. It's got a little bit of a mauve-y, like burgundy shade. It just looks so, so beautiful. So you can buy the palette. It's a Cocktail Pressed Pigment Palette Vault Volume 1, so maybe there's more coming out, but there's 4 palettes, and for all 4 of those palettes it's $73.50, or each individual palette is $24.50. So the ones that really caught my attention are the Strawberry Daiquiri one is super appealing to me. It looks super beautiful. And then the next one was the Mojito palette, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous green palette. Oh, it just looks so, so beautiful. And so I'm like, ooh, I'm so tempted by these. Main thing is like, because I'm kind of like in palette overload at the moment. I actually have several new palettes that just came into me. Some that I wasn't even expecting to get, and they just arrived, and I was like, oh, and I already had plans for what I was going to do and film this month with palettes. And so now I have these new palettes that I recently got and need to start using, well, not need, but want to start using also and create some content on my channel. So I'm kind of like, I need to rein it in and hold back on purchasing some palettes, but this one looks beautiful. There's also the Pina Colada palette also catches my eye because it's much more of a like neon looking palette. It looks really pretty. I'm not sure if I would use that one as much because there is several blues in there. I'm not a big fan of blues. And then the Sangria palette is the least interesting of the palette bundles for me. It's really, really pretty. It's mostly pinks and purples, which I do like those tones. But I don't tend to reach for those cooler tone colors as often. But very, very interesting. The Beauty Crop, have you guys tried the Beauty Crop? I haven't tried, I don't think, anything from the brand, so I really don't even know what the quality is, if the palettes are good. So if you've heard of this brand, if you've tried this brand, I would love to know the quality. If you've tried this brand or even these palettes specifically, let me know your thoughts. I'm very, very tempted by these. And next up that I have on my saved list is, and I feel like this isn't as new now, but I swear by the time I get around to filming these videos, some of the stuff is old news, but you know what? everything's old news within a week, it seems like, in the beauty community. So we still talk about some of the old stuff here on my channel because I don't film these every week. Anyways, so this is from Beauty Bakery, and it's funny because in my last video like this, I talked about their baking spray that they came out with and how I really wanted it, and I probably wasn't going to buy, but also that probably I eventually was going to buy, and I actually did purchase it. So after I filmed that video is when I actually saw that they had another new release coming, and it's their Instabake Aqua Glass Foundation and Instabake 3-in-1 Concealers. So these are really intriguing to me as well. I just like the idea of the like Aqua Glass Foundation. It just sounds really interesting, and I have seen, I think, 1 or 2 reviews of this foundation, and to be honest, I actually cannot remember if people like them or not. But what I remember from the reviews is that the foundation is really, really very liquidy and very like lightweight, and I love a good, very lightweight foundation, and it just sounds like it would be really, really a great foundation. And then the concealer I would just love to try. I just been, for the longest time, have really wanted to try Beauty Bakery as a brand. It's a brand that's intrigued me for the longest time, but that I've never purchased from. The spray that I purchased is the very first item I purchased from them, and it's not because I don't think, and I say this all the time, so if you're not new here, you've heard this spiel before, but if you're new here, you get to hear it. It's not because I don't think they're an interesting brand. I think they're a very interesting brand, but just some of the products that they have out or that they currently had were just nothing that I felt like I needed to add to my collection. There wasn't anything that screamed like, ooh, you gotta have that. It was all kind of just stuff that I wasn't as interested in, but just the brand was intriguing to me. So I was really excited to finally see some products that that they were coming out with that I felt like, ooh, I really actually want this. So here's a little bit about it. It says Instabake 3-in-1 Concealer, perfect to hide dark circles and scarring, fortified with water binding cassava. The under eye area will be smooth, soothed, and hydrated, and they're $20 each, which is kind of expensive. Oh, that was one thing I remember seeing about the concealer, that it's a really, really small tube, and it's $20, and it looks to me like almost like the mini sizes of the Love Your Selfie foundation from Pure Cosmetics, and those are super, super small. So I'm kind of hesitant on buying it because of that, because there's not a lot of product in it, and that's pretty expensive for a concealer. So well, that kind of makes me really hesitant. I'm more really interested in the foundation, but it says Instabake Aqua Glass Foundation is a lightweight vegan full coverage formula that applies smoothly like a layer of frosting, and it's $34. That part makes me laugh because I think it's supposed to be like non-cakey, but yet they say that it applies smoothly like a layer of frosting, and I get that they say that because it's part of their theme of being a bakery theme, and it's really cute, but at the same time, when I think of applying frosting, I think of it being thick, cakey, and like just thick, like so that doesn't like sound the best to me, but I kind of get what they're doing. I get what they're saying. I know it's, anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny, but I'm really interested in trying it, but I really do not need any more foundation. I really don't need any more makeup at all, but yeah, we're gonna never mind that. All right, next up I have the Sleeping Beauty collection from Besame. Besame is another brand that I had talked about before that is a brand that I'm very intrigued by, that I would love to try products from, but there has never been anything that I looked at and felt like I need to get that. You know what I mean? That feeling where you're like, ooh, I mean, I keep saying need, but it's not a need. You know what I mean? But that feeling like you just know you have to have it. I've never really felt that way about any of their stuff. I have mentioned them in past videos like this with their Snow White collection and their Peter Pan collection. I think the Disney collections are so, so cute, so well thought out. And the thing is, Besame, it doesn't seem like it's a brand that's constantly pushing out new products, and I like that. So you know that when they're coming out with collections, they're very thoughtful. They're very curated and very beautiful, and the quality is there. You can just tell. And I don't have anything from them, but I can just tell that the quality of these products, it's there with Besame. The price is pretty high, so the quality better be there. Anyways, and so they now have the Sleeping Beauty collection. And this one really gets to me because Sleeping Beauty is actually one of my very, very, very favorite Disney princesses. She was my favorite Disney princess growing up. And so this collection looks really, really beautiful. it looks very, very thought out. Everything looks just so vintage and beautiful, and I love the whole vintage vibe. I mean, Besame is a vintage vibe kind of brand, so they really intrigue me. But when I looked at the palette, like the palette colors just look kind of very muted and boring to me. And I have seen reviews on it, and and they're definitely not as muted as they look, but I don't know, I just don't imagine I would reach for it a ton. The colors are really, really pretty, and I probably, obviously, if I were to spend the money on it, I would use it, but I just kind of think like, it's still not grabbing me. You know what I mean? It's just not grabbing me. Aside from the fact that it's Disney, and I love Disney, and it's Sleeping Beauty. I mean, that's really the main thing that grabs me about this collection, but you can't buy a collection just because of the packaging. I mean, I guess you can, a lot of us do, but I just can't personally justify that. I kind of really want it, but I really just don't see myself actually purchasing it. If I were a collector, you better believe I would, and I had the money just to spend on collecting things and collecting makeup, then I totally would. Alright, next up is the NORVINA palette, that big old palette that released so quickly after the Jackie Aina palette. I think it's really pretty. I like the colors in here. The colors that are really speaking to me are the really, really vibrant, at least that's what it looks like in the picture here, the really, really vibrant corally pink and orange shades. There is a lot of purple in here and a lot of pink and a lot of cool tone, which I'm, like I already mentioned, I'm not a super big fan of, but it just looks like such a beautiful palette, and I'm very, very tempted by it. I think it's pretty. I was really, really actually interested in the Jackie Aina palette, and the colors in that palette actually speak to me more so than this NORVINA palette, but the fact that that one's limited edition is what was one of the biggest factors in me not getting it, because I just am not into limited edition products. It's not because I'm not into them, because obviously that palette looks beautiful and I would have wanted it, but I don't like limited edition products. I really don't. So, ugh. So in this one, I believe is not limited edition, as far as I can understand, and there's also, it seems like, going to be more volumes coming out, so I'm kind of interested to see what other volumes she will have coming out. And so anyways, that was a palette that kind of is interesting to me, but I really don't think I'll buy it, because again, like I said, it just goes back to I really now do not need more shadows, but I wouldn't mind having it, you know. It's just a really pretty palette that caught my attention, so I figured I'd speak about it. Okay, and then this one I have saved a couple times. You can see in my little thing here, I have it saved a couple times, and then also when the reveal finally came, this is the new Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette. And I saved it because I was like, ooh, that's very interesting. It looks really pretty. I can't wait to see what it's going to be. And then they revealed it, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's actually really, really pretty. Of course, there is 2 blues in here, and I'm not a huge fan of blue, so that was a little bit of a off turn for me, but I thought it was really pretty, and I really love Juvia's Place quality. And I've been wanting to try more from them, and so I just saved it and thinking maybe I'll get this eventually. Well, I actually ended up getting it in PR. And here's the thing, like, you might think like it's silly if you or think you might want to get it but you're on their PR list, but I just wasn't sure officially if I was like really on their PR list. Like, I recently received the Queen palette from them in PR. I had mentioned in that video that I was supposed to be getting the foundations from them in PR, and that never happened, but I didn't realize this was going to be like an ongoing PR thing. I thought maybe it was like a one-time thing, I'd get the foundations in PR. Something happened where I never got it, and then randomly I ended up getting the Queen palette, which I thought was amazing. Anyway, so I wasn't sure like what the deal is, but I guess I am now officially put on PR, I guess, which is really exciting. So, but even that being said, this was a palette that I was interested in and looking at even without knowing that I might get it in PR. It's just a really beautiful palette, and I actually just got it a couple days ago, and I'm really, really excited to play around with it. I'm hoping to film with it later this week. Stay tuned for that if you want to see a video with that. Okay, the next thing I have is something from Urban Decay, I believe. Yeah, that's Urban Decay, right? Yeah, okay. It just, the packaging looks a little bit different, and the writing, so it was a little bit like, wait, is that Urban Decay? These are their Ultimate Brush Off Translucent Loose Setting Powders. And if you know me, you know that I'm really big into powders. I'm a powder girl. Love trying new powders, and this one just seemed really intriguing to me. It says it's a finely milled powder that sets makeup while absorbing oil and shine for a totally blurred out effect, blending seamlessly without causing flashback. And it's a portable powder with a built-in brush. It's vegan and cruelty-free. Anyways, the packaging alone looks really, really neat and intriguing to me. And like I said, I just love powders. I love trying new powders, so I just was intrigued. And also, again, you may already know Urban Decay is a brand that I do receive PR from, but I do not receive every single release that they come out with. So sometimes I'll purchase my own things from the brand, and sometimes I get it in PR. And sometimes it's just totally random, because like this week I also randomly received the honey palette, which I wasn't expecting to get. I didn't know if I was gonna get, and so that just showed up at my door, and I was like, cool, okay. Which was gonna mention that too, which I might as well mention it here. I had saved it just because I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I actually already filmed a video on it. That video is already live, so if you want to see, it's just a quick tutorial I want to do. So if you want to see a tutorial with the honey palette, I'll link that video. Check it out if you're interested. But I had saved it just because I thought it was intriguing. But I didn't know if I wanted it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's interesting, but kind of like boring. It was just, I don't know, it wasn't one that I was super excited about. I remember being really excited about the Naked Cherry palette and thinking it was so pretty. Those colors are so up my alley. But when I saw this pictures of this, I was like, oh, that's cool. I guess they're going aboard the like yellow and honey trend train. But I didn't think it was something that I would purchase myself or pick up. I wasn't as excited about it, but I will just say that now that I have it, in person it's a lot prettier than it looks on photos, and I was actually really pleasantly surprised with it, and the look that I created I thought was really, really pretty. But anyways, I had saved it also because in addition to the photos, there was more products coming out with like a full-on honey collection, and then other products to go with their other Naked palettes. And those are actually what I was most intrigued by and interested in. And just so you guys know, with the honey palette, I only got the honey palette. I didn't get like the collection of other stuff or anything like that, which I'm somewhat selfishly sad about because it was the other stuff that I was actually the most interested in. So they're, in addition to the honey palette, they're also coming out with lip plumpers. And if you know me, you know that I am obsessed with lip glosses, but especially lip plumping lip glosses, because I just love the not necessarily for the plumping effect, but usually they have like a nice tingling effect, and I'm kind of obsessed with that kind of a thing. But they have one coming out for the honey palette, the heat palette, as well as the cherry palette, and the cherry palette lip gloss is the one that like is the most interesting to me. So it says the lip plumper in honey is $22, and it says it combines a high shine with microfine multi-dimensional glitter and a tantalizing scent. So honey is a light golden glow with intoxicating scent of honey. Oh, I can't even read. Cherry is an iridescent peachy pink sparkle that teases a scent of forbidden fruit. And then heat is a sheer burgundy shimmer with spicy sweet cinnamon scent. I actually love cinnamon so much. So the cinnamon, the heat one, now that I'm reading that, and the cherry one is what's intriguing me. And so I kind of think I would be willing to purchase those. I'm such a lip gloss junkie. I kind of think eventually I may purchase those, or at least one of them, cherry or the heat one, because oof, I'm just such a lip gloss girl, you guys know. Actually, the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine lip glosses are among my favorite lip glosses ever. So I'm really excited that they're coming out with other lip glosses. So there's also going to be a new eye primer, like a honey shade eye primer potion. There's also going to be a honey scented all-nighter setting spray. A mini honey palette, which are we surprised? And then there's going to be a Sweet Little Vices mini Vice liquid lipsticks, or not, I always say liquid lipstick when I'm talking about lipsticks, but a Vice lipstick set, which has 2 shades that have bees on it, so 2 like honey shades, and then also includes a cherry shade as well as a heat shade. So just a lot of stuff coming out in like with the honey collection that's going with the honey theme, but then a lot of other stuff that's kind of going with themes of their previous Naked palettes. So I think that's really cool, and I may pick up some of this stuff, but probably not right away because I just don't need to, but I'm very, very intrigued, especially about those glosses. All right, so next up, I feel very hesitant to even bring this up because but the ColourPop Rainbow collection is really pretty, I have to say. I know it's basically them just kind of like, what is the word? They're like just grabbing, because I'm pretty sure all the colors in the palette are not new shades. They're just singles that they've already had that they put together to make it a palette for you to buy. It's like a money grab. That's it. It's a money grab. This is a money grab. I think, am I wrong in that? I feel like I remember seeing somewhere that they're not new shades. Anyways, but I do think it's pretty. I like pressed glitter, so I like that they have some pressed glitters in there. It's just aesthetically pleasing. That's the thing. Like, I look at it, I'm like, that's pretty. I like that. I really don't think I'll buy it though, because I do not need any more shadows, especially single shadows. Oh, I'm tempted. There's just a good variety. I think if it were me though, personally, again, the blues always get me. If there's too many blues in a palette, I'm like, and I feel like I would have loved to see more greens instead. There's one green shimmer and then a green pressed glitter, and then one green matte shadow, and then kind of like a dewy, why am I thinking of dew? I'm thinking of dewdrops from NBA Cosmetics. It looks like that color. But like a green, blue, mint. That's the mint, a minty green, but it kind of leans blue. And then there's just like 4 straight blues. I would have loved to see a bigger variety of greens in the palette, and maybe then I might consider, I don't know. But mainly also, I was very intrigued by this collection because of the eyeliners. Yes, they have like a, overchromatic cream gel liner set. That looks interesting to me. So there's a red, yellow, green, blue, and purple eyeliner set. And for the set, it's only $20. That's actually not bad for four eyeliners. And a lot of the eyeliners I use on my channel are from Urban Decay, because that's really the only brand I have of really colorful eyeliners. But I have been wanting to purchase or find other brands that carry really pretty colorful eyeliners that actually show up in your waterline. But I've heard that ColourPop actually shows up really well in the waterline, so I was actually more interested in the liners than anything. But the palette is really, really pretty. I will give them that. Oh! Oh my gosh, Lucy, you scared me. That was my dog. She sleeps for some reason really oddly right up against my door, and you know that little knob thing, a door stopper? So she just shook against that, and it scared me. Oh my gosh, I'm like so easy. I scare so easily. My whole family, my husband, like, he just thinks it's so hilarious. He just walks, well, he doesn't always think it's hilarious. Sometimes he walks in a room and I just scream. Like, he's not even trying to scare me. He just walks in and I scream, and he's like, oh my goodness, I can't even walk in my own home without scaring. But he also takes advantage of the fact that I scare easily and will like do something to, you know, scare me, and he just cracks up. Anyways, and I'm like, I don't even know why you're so proud of yourself for scaring me, because it's not like it's hard. So anyways, all right. Random tangent, let's move on. Oh. So Cover FX is coming out with a new powder, and it's their illuminating setting powder, and I'm intrigued by this because the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder is actually one of my very, very, very favorite setting powders. I had received it in PR once. Yeah, received it in PR once, loved it, and repurchased it, or purchased it after that, after I used it up. Now, Cover FX isn't a brand I still get PR from. I randomly got like 2 launches from them a couple years back and haven't received anything again since. But then again, it also could be this, they don't really release a ton of new things. This, watch out. So maybe that, I don't know. Anyways, point being, I love that powder, and I also love illuminating powders, but not ones, the struggle is real when it comes to finding the perfect illuminating powder, because there's one that I like, it's a pressed powder, and I love loose powders, but the pressed one I love is from Urban Decay. It's their Naked Illuminizing Pressed Beauty Powder, and I love that for like setting under the eyes, because it just gives a beautiful like luminosity. But I also recently tried one from Too Faced. It is their, I can't remember the name of it, but I bought it and I was disappointed because it was just too illuminizing. It was almost like a highlight. It just had a lot of chunky sparkle in it, and I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work unless I want to look like a Twilight vampire. And there's something wrong with that, but I don't necessarily want to look like that on my face. So anyway, so this is really intriguing to me if it's done right, if it can be like an actual setting powder that's not a highlight or too glittery, but just gives a beautiful luminosity. Oh, I'm all about it. So this says that it's a weightless loose powder that extends makeup wear, why is that written so weird, without settling into fine lines, and acts as a luminous filter for the face. The skin-loving formula is enriched with green tea leaves, vitamin C, E, and F. I've never heard of vitamin F. What is that? To soothe skin and help protect against free radicals. recommended for all skin types. So it sounds incredible. And what's also really nice about Cover FX is that they do offer like half sizes. So if you don't feel like, Lucy, if you don't feel like you need the full size, or you just have so much powders, you don't go through them that quickly, you can get a half size, and it's actually literally half the price. Because you know some brands will give you like deluxe sample sizes, or they offer travel sizes, but it's like way less than half the product. Like it's a minimal amount, but they're still charging like exactly half of the original price or more than half of the original price. It's like doesn't really work, like it's not worth it, doesn't really add up, you know what I mean? But Cover FX is pretty fair that like their full size is $35, their half size, and it's exactly half, and it's exactly half the price, is $17, I think, if I'm doing the math right. 13, 17? Anyways, not a math genius here, but I do know that it's exactly half the amount and half the price, and so that's a really, really nice. So I may just pick up like a half size or something to try, just in case I don't like it. Next up is a palette. It's always a lot of palettes because that's what comes out that intrigues me usually the most. This is from a brand that I've never tried before. The brand is Give Me Glow Cosmetics. They are an indie brand, and I know they're a fairly well-known or popular indie brand. Anyways, they recently released a vintage rose palette, and it just looks so beautiful. I love the kind of grungy, vintagey looking colors in this. It's got some beautiful reds, my heart, a bright pink, and then some grungy green shades and just some shimmers. It just looks really, really pretty. So this was launching on the 30th, so it's already been launched for a couple weeks by now. Anyways, it looks really pretty. I'd have to see what the price is, but I'm very tempted by it. It definitely caught my attention. Okay, I was really curious and had to look up the price. So it's only $36, so that's actually not bad. I would totally pay that. It looks beautiful. I have to talk myself out of this. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I feel like this, whenever I do these videos, you know what I feel like? I feel like the SpongeBob episode where he's meeting Sandy for the first time and he needs water, but she lives in air, obviously, in her little air dome. And he's trying to tell himself he doesn't need water. He's like, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. That's me. That's always me. I love SpongeBob. I know, I'm 35 years old. I miss the days when my kids were young and watched SpongeBob because I love SpongeBob. And I love SpongeBob memes too. Okay, anyways, moving right along. So, some other stuff from Urban Decay that I forgot about. Oh, I just marked these. I don't think I'm actually that interested in them, but I did think that they were interesting, so I wanted to talk about them. But they're coming out with, what are these called? Scented Sparkling Body Powders. And from what I've read, because some people were asking like, are they lickable? I think somewhere someone said that they are lickable, and apparently this is like a product that Urban Decay has had before, like their marshmallow powder. I don't know, I don't remember that because I didn't use Urban Decay back in the day. I didn't even know about them because I was a poor and / sheltered child when it came to makeup. If it wasn't in the drugstore, I didn't know about it. Anyway, so there's a lot of people who are really excited that they're coming back out with this kind of product because they loved it. But it just looks really cute, really pretty. So again, they have something for the heat, something for the honey palette, and then something for the cherry. So there's the different flavors. And I just thought, oh, that's really cute and interesting. Look at Urban Decay go with all these launches. Okay, so I just want to mention that real quick. Next up, okay, this I thought was very interesting because it's from Physicians Formula, and Physicians Formula is a brand that I think I've talked about in the past. That is a brand that's never really caught my attention. It was one that actually used to catch my attention way back in the day when I was younger, when I was in high school, and when I was first getting into makeup and stuff like that, because it had such cutesy packaging and it just looked very unique and different compared to a lot of other stuff at the drugstore. So as a teenager, like, it caught my attention, but as I've gotten older, it hasn't really caught my attention, and to be honest, I find that a lot of stuff seems like overpriced for what it is, and just too bulky in packaging. But I saw this come up and I was like, ooh, this looks very, very sleek and very just intriguing to me. So they are coming out with, or they have come out with, this new organic wear silk foundation elixir. And it's an ultra fluid weightless blend of organic jojoba oil, organic aloe vera, organic coconut oil, and botanical cactus flower that locks in moisture, improves the appearance of skin tone, and delivers a second skin airbrushed dewy finish. Now, they kind of had me with all of that until they got to dewy finish, and then I was like, I'm much more of a natural finish girl. I love a natural finish. I'm not opposed to matte. I think I've had to choose between dewy and matte. I would go matte because I just do not like the feel of dewy. I like the look of dewy, don't get me wrong. The feel of dewy, not so much. I'd rather be matte. I want to touch my skin and feel skin and not feel product. So if it's a dewy feeling, no. But if it's just like a dewy looking foundation, but it will still dry down, then fine, I'm cool with it. But everything else sounds so cool. The organic part, I'm like, I don't really care one way or the other, to be honest. Like, it's whatever to me. But just the whole idea of having some good oils in there sounds cool. The fact of it being like second skin-like and very fluid. I love a good fluid foundation, which is another reason, like I said, why I'm kind of intrigued by the Beauty Bakery foundation, because it's very fluid. I like foundations like that because they tend to be a lot more lightweight, and if they can still give good coverage, like, I'm all about it. I still may try this. I wonder what the price is. Oh, it's $16 pretty much. That's not too bad. If this is a good foundation, oh, if you guys really want to push me a little bit, let me know if you're interested. I might actually pick this up. But you guys tell me. I'll only pick it up if you guys want to see, like, me review it or something. That's going to be my ticket to get this. But just know that I may be a little bit biased if it does feel too dewy, because I'm not about the dewy life. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm just not for me. But oh, it sounds cool. It sounds like it's a really good foundation, and I'm very intrigued by it. It just looks very sleek, and I think for Physicians Formula, it's like a step up. It just looks so much more classy, and I'm there for it. Okay, and I think that's it. That is it. And I'm glad, because I've been talking so long and I'm starting to sweat. I'm really hot and I just want to be done filming under these lights. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and hearing my thoughts about some of the new products that have released, and you know, why I kind of want them but probably won't buy, because we don't need to buy everything, right? We don't need to buy everything, but we can still talk about them. We could talk about the cool things that are exciting without having to purchase it. So I would love to hear if there's any products that you've been eyeballing that you maybe want but probably won't buy, and why. If you tried any of these products, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on them. Are they worth the splurge or not? Or should we stay away, save our money? Let's have a discussion. I would love to chat with you in the comment section. But with all that being said, I just want to thank you so much for watching. And until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes. Mwah!